Action.
That was a little off.
You were off.
Well, I didn't know that you were going to do it, so then now we both did it. Camera A, camera B, mic 1, mic 2.
Action.
That was much better. Much
Okay.
better. Okay. Okay. Hello and welcome to Awe and Wonder Live. We're so happy to be here with you. This is a special edition of Awe and Wonder. This is our season finale. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's a season, right? Semester finale. We've been doing these senior showcase episodes, and we wanted to end with our final one, the week of graduation here, with a live version as we start to see and feel our world become alive again through various new opportunities and things. We felt it was appropriate to try to make this one in person, not over Zoom. And so we brought back a guest here, Carly Credidio. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming back.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're excited. This is really special. This is so different here. We have our little system here. We're in the lounge. The idea behind this was these conversations started as little Zoom conversations, and the hope is that as we move forward into the future, we can bring this into being, getting us back to events. So what you see here is kind of a little test of maybe something we could be doing down the road, having little Awe and Wonder events, so we could sort of slowly get off of Zoom a bit, because I'm getting sick of looking at myself. I just read a study about how we have to work to turn our cameras off, because when have you ever gone to class and brought a mirror?
No.
Right? Have you felt that, like the Zoom having an impact on you as a person?
Yeah, I definitely get sick and tired of looking at myself on camera.
Yeah.
I think it's like very overwhelming. You're not supposed to see yourself when you talk.
Yeah.
And like having to do like presentations or even like asking a question in class, like your face popping up as you're asking the question is just like weird.
It's so unnatural.
It is.
There's so much of this whole experience that's just been really unnatural. But I think in that process, we're learning about what is natural, and we're kind of like almost resetting back to our space. I love it. We're in the lounge. We have people here. There's people behind the camera. You can hear life. It's really, really wonderful. It's so exciting. So you're graduating this week when this airs, this week here.
Yes.
How does it feel?
Surreal. It's like over, but like I'm excited to see like what's in store.
Yeah. When you say it's over, what is it?
Like my 4 years, like the life I had at SJC is like coming to an end.
Yeah. There's just so much to unpack here, and we've been having these discussions with the other seniors, and they've just been so special. But what are some of the things you feel like you're unpacking or revealing about yourself in this process?
I think it's really hard to like come to like terms that like my like individual SJC self is coming to an end. I felt like I found like a lot of my identity here the last 4 years. So like trying to bring that into the real world is like something I'm ready for, but also like nervous. It's like the real world. It's different than these 4 walls we're in.
Yeah. And you have a new SJC self, like you're going to be an alumni.
Yes.
And like that's something that I think this school, I think every school has it, but this school in particular has a really good tradition of having a alumni connection, and just there seems to be a robust alumni. I don't know. I'm an alumni. I've said that a bunch of times, and I'm still very close to a lot of my alumni people. So, have you thought about that? Like what that means to you? Like.
Yeah. I actually like received an alumni award through like the athletics department like last week. So like that was weird to see like an alumni award. Like I wasn't even there yet, and I got it.
Yeah. They're getting ready for you.
Yeah. I felt like it was kind of like an opening door, I guess. Like one door's closing, and like they're showing you that you're still here. Like you can still be present.
Yeah, and we want you to be, and that's we want all of our seniors to stay involved somehow or just stay connected as you're an alumni, because for the most part you all are really impactful, valued members of our community, and it goes beyond the years of your graduation. Like it goes beyond that experience. So I've been asking everybody in this process of going and reflecting about senior year and all whatnot, what are the things you've been looking back on, reflecting on? Have you had that moment? Have you had that time to do that?
Yeah, I feel like I've started doing that like when my senior year got like closed, going all online. You were basically stuck with like yourself in a room and like trying to just to figure everything out and like not losing yourself through that like process. And I had a lot of time to like reflect on everything I've done, and it's been easier to see like and appreciate everything I've done.
Yeah. staring at yourself on a Zoom mirror,
Yeah.
just wondering, right? A
Yeah.
lot of yeah.
But it makes you grateful for like everything you've done.
That's good. Yeah. What are some of the things, if you want to get specific here? I know you have a pretty big resume of stuff you've done here, more so than most people, and that's not to disrespect other people, but I've said this to others before in the offices here, that you're one of the few people who like got involved day one. Like most people, from what we've noticed, it's like sophomore year you start to see people who are like, I took a year to kind of get to know the campus and feel it all out, which is really normal and healthy. But you were like right out the gate.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are some of the things you've been reflecting?
I think soccer had a big thing to do with that. Coming in as like a college athlete, I felt like I had, some high expectations. So I came in with like, full sprint onto everything I could get my hands onto.
Literally a full sprint.
Literally a full sprint. But like my favorite things were like the spring trips and winter trips that I went on. I think Camden will still be my favorite for years to come.
Camden, New Jersey?
The best experience I think I could have had. I think that's really like what set the tone for like my next 4 years.
What, and you were on that your freshman year?
Yes.
Wow. I'm having such a hard time tracking time already because there's just been so much. And I'm sure you've heard this before, but the idea of like COVID, this whole COVID experience has felt like 2-3 years.
Yes.
Because it's just been so weird and like years have been meshing together. And then what was before that feels like years and years and years ago. So when you say Camden, I'm like, oh my gosh, like.
Yeah, that was my freshman year, my first trip through campus ministry.
Wow. And that was a big group too. That was one of the biggest trips. It was like over 20 people.
Yeah.
Which is pretty unique for a trip. It's usually a little more intimate, but we were like, bring them there.
The more the merrier.
I had trouble turning people away on that one. It was a good group. What about that trip specifically, but then also like the more vague aspect of like what a trip like that does to you?
I think that vaguely, like it just like opened like my eyes. I feel like that's like such a typical thing to people for people to say, but it like honestly really did like it kind of made me realize what I have and like what I could give. So vaguely that's what like I took away from it, but like more specifically like meeting the people, not even like the ones I went with on the trip, but the people we encountered throughout the trip, like Abraham being like my home dude.
We have a do you have the picture? Or
I do have a picture.
I think we have it somewhere too. I'll have to pull that up.
But he was like one of the people, like he like fully believed in everything I could do and see in the world. And he was like a #1 supporter, and like he was at the lowest like part of his life. Yeah,
Abraham, for those watching here, he was in one of the shelters that we were visiting when we were there, one of the food banks and shelters and whatnot. And you took a liking. You guys had a really funny connection. He was really, really tall. No offense, but it was just very like it was very fun to see you two just getting along. And I think that's really cool about these trips is that you're just so surprised by how people connect on the human experience. Like it's always people you never think you would connect with.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't probably meet if you were in your normal day-to-day life.
Yeah, definitely would not have encountered him or even like gotten the chance to get to know him as well as I did.
Yeah.
Throughout the trip.
Yeah, that's really funny. I'm so happy that you remember that because I remember it. We all, like everybody that was on that trip, I think remembered that. And it's cool to see that it was a mutual feeling of appreciation all around and that you still hold on to that. Something that has been coming up a lot too in the other conversations is the experience of like how traveling with a group and that whole experience was really unique and like and I didn't think of it as much when I plan the trips and put them together. I don't always think of it as much of like how some of you have never like been away like this before or done something like this. Was that the same for you? What was your experience with that?
I honestly, so before I like came to St. Joseph's, I thought I was going to go to a college in Connecticut, and like I was looking at programs and clubs they had, and like nothing ever offered an experience like St. Joseph's had to offer. So having that opportunity was just like a really big selling point for me.
Oh, okay.
But
the opportunity to go on the trips or to
just have the clubs and like the student life that we have.
Yeah.
We are a small campus, so I think the connections you make here are so much stronger than if you were to go away to like a big school and like. Yeah. So I feel like those trips helped me like enjoy those like tiny groups and like getting to know individuals on campus that I'm gonna see every day.
That's so cool. Again, I'm so happy to see that you acknowledge that because I feel it too. And when you feel that the feeling is mutual, it's really special. But I remember we were on one of the trips And we were staying, and there were a bunch of other schools staying. I don't think it was Camden, but it probably was. I have no clue.
I think it was Texas.
Was it Texas? Yeah, and there was.
We had to sleep on the cots on the
Did
floor.
we were on the cots on the floor, which is like your classic trip style. But then there was one other school that had like 5 trips going on at once, and they were all over the country. And I remember them being like, "Yeah, we have all different leaders," and it was like so overwhelming to me. I was like, "What? Do you have like all these trips going on at once?" And on the one part, I thought that's really cool, good for them. They have all these people out there. But then in the other part, like all those groups didn't get to have that intimacy with each other, whereas we were just one solid family.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. You always think of like, oh, what am I missing out? But then you think, yeah, but we got our crew.
Yeah, we definitely had like a solid like family connection, and I feel like even throughout the 4 years, even though people came and went,
Yeah.
we always had like that connection, and like you knew those people were like ones you can count on for a long period of time.
Yeah, it's a unique bond, and that's really, really special. And again, I've said this before in other iterations of this and whatever this is, I keep saying that, but the people I went on trips with as a student, I'm still close with. I mean, 2 of my dearest friends are getting married in a couple weeks. They didn't meet on a trip, but I'll say for this they did. No, but like right around the same time of our like freshman or sophomore year going on a trip, they met. And, so it's just like, wow, it's just crazy to see how all that stuff unfolds, but it's really wonderful. And I want to talk about another thing. You played soccer. Now, unfortunately, this year you weren't able to play soccer because in the fall everything was so insane, and we were like all chickens without heads running around trying to figure out what were we allowed to do. So it's really tough, and unfortunately, students like yourself were kind of stuck in the middle of those discussions of like, we can't risk it. But you made, I want to say this right, you made lemonade out of lemons. I thought about that long and hard. I wanted to make sure I fit that reference in. But now I'm talking about it, so that kind of takes the allure out. But you made lemonade out of lemons with your experience. What did you do with soccer?
Yeah, so after the season got canceled, I always knew I was going to miss soccer whenever it was to end.
Right.
And, like, I always had my eye open on, like, other opportunities or ways I can get involved. I did coaching and, like, playing with women's teams. But I recently found, like, a little tiny family in a co-ed soccer world. So I joined a co-ed soccer league.
Is it an indoor league?
It's indoors.
Indoor, like arena
Yes.
league. What's that like?
So I play pickup games. I do tournaments with them. It is a whole new world.
Yeah.
I thought I knew soccer until I started playing with some of the boys that really know soccer.
Yeah.
I never knew how different boys and girls soccer was until I got to play like hands-on. And I honestly thought, like, I mastered everything I needed to do in soccer, but learning, like, the guys play in the air way more than the girls play in the air, or how to move your body to beat a bigger person.
Right.
It's a completely different game.
Wow.
And now I know I'm still learning, so I guess it's never over.
How do you feel you're doing? I don't want to get into records because, like, wins and losses are tricky because there's so much that goes into it, but, like, how do you feel it's going?
I think it's going good. I mean, there's very few girls.
Okay.
But when I do encounter, like, talking to the guys, they're always like, you can be on my team. Like, you're good. And I'm like, I am. Like, I get excited.
Oh, that's cool. What position are you playing? And then I know you played midfield before and a little bit defense.
Yeah, so when SJC, I played midfield and forward my first 2 years.
Okay.
But my last year, they moved me back to defense.
Okay.
Which is, like, eye-opening to me because I've never played that position in my entire life.
Yeah.
But now for the co-ed soccer, I play sweeper, so I'm the last man standing
Really?
before the goalie.
Wow, that's intimidating.
It's really fun.
Yeah, you like
Yeah.
it? Why do you like that better? Why it's
I think I like it better because when you get to, like, the rewarding of stopping someone was just, like, so overwhelming. I always had, like, you scored a goal, like, it's a hands up, good job. But when you stop someone, like, in a 0-0 game, it's like the whole arena feels it.
That is, like, not to, like, blow up your ego or anything here, but I want to point on this because I think it's really powerful. Like, you're graduating here, you've had these 4 years of experience, and to think you come in here starting saying score goals, and now you're leaving here thinking you literally went from playing the front to all the way to the back, and you have such a satisfaction about it that I think is, like, it's really graceful. It's really, I compliment you because I don't think I have that kind of grace, and I wish I did more often. I think all of us could afford to have it more. Say, hey, I'll take the back. and I'm going to do it with elegance.
Yeah, I
That's
think
really
that was
special.
hard for, honestly, when I first transitioned to defense, when coach was like, yeah, you're not going to play forward anymore, and, like, you're not going to get the recognition you used to.
Right.
I was like, what? Like, the awards, I won, like, athlete of the year, I was rookie of the week, and, like, from scoring the goals and making the assist, I had so much recognition. But when you play defense, you don't get that recognition. And I think that was, like, at first hard, but then I realized, like, overall, like, as I heard once before, it was offense sells tickets, but defense wins games.
Amen.
And honestly, I feel it now. Like, I understand that statement.
I never heard the sells tickets run. I like that.
Yeah, because, like,
it's
it's flashy, it's showy.
Yeah.
You score a goal, you want to go see that person go score the goal.
Well, it's an interesting thing, and this is really cool in how this ties in with the year of St. Joseph, in that it's a very St. Joseph-esque quality in that you think you got to be in the front and all this stuff, but really, if you're in the defensive world, if you make the news, it's usually not a good thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you want to be under the radar, you want to do a good job, and that's so St. Joseph-like. That's literally his whole MO.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see, like, again, you're graduating here and you're taking on this, like, this mindset that I think will pay off in the big picture of your journey. And do you feel that this is really going in a tangent here, but I love it. Because I think a lot of young people are struggling with that right now, that idea of wanting to be showy versus taking a humble route. Are you seeing that too, or is it just?
Yeah, I feel like everyone wants the recognition and, like, everyone wants to be on that front page, but I feel like
or TikTok, the front TikTok, whatever the heck that
on
means.
the For You page.
For You?
For You page.
Like the search page.
Like, it's like the popular page where all the viral videos are.
Okay. So there's a way to get on there?
Yeah, when you have enough likes, you get on the For You page.
Okay.
But I think that everyone has that mentality.
Yeah.
But I also found, like, throughout this whole experience that social media is so what you want people to see, not what you actually are going through.
Yeah.
Especially during COVID. Like, we all know it was a hard time, and, like, emotionally, physically, mentally, it was tough on everyone.
Yeah.
But social media never showed that on, like, a lot of people's pages. And I think it's really important to be, like, open and honest about it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be also through social media either. Like, I think I've struggled, and for those of you watching who follow Campus Ministry on Instagram, which you should. Oh, isn't that so funny? We're talking about social media, and I'm going to plug social media. No, that's a joke and a joke. But I've found my own personal struggle with having a personal Instagram, but then also running the Campus Ministry one, of going, I don't feel inspired to share anything, but I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like society's telling me I need to put a picture of, like, me with a coffee cup to say that I'm alive today. But yet, there have been so many other moments where I felt alive today. Do you feel that too?
Yeah, I feel like it's a very big, like, balance of the world. You want to show, like, what you're doing, and, like, you want everyone to see it, but also, like, you have to believe it before you do that. So I think that's, like, where I come from.
Summer's coming.
Yes.
What are your summer plans?
I don't really have summer plans. I feel like it kind of threw me off this summer. It came so fast.
It did, yeah.
And I was just, like, so focused on, like, just finishing and, like, ending on a high note, like, wherever it was. So I didn't really plan anything for summer, but definitely soccer.
Do you have certain things that are, like, staples of your summer? Like, I know, like, this sounds really, really weird, but, like, Slurpees was always a thing when I was a kid. And so, like, every now and then during the summer, I kind of feel like I need to get a Slurpee. And, like, that's how I know it's summertime. Is that, like, do you have stuff like that? Like
yeah, I definitely do. I feel like a big one for me would be, like, sunrises and sunsets on the beach.
Cool. Yeah.
Even, like, my mom's birthday is, like, July 3rd. And every single year she wakes us up super early to go watch the sunrise for her birthday. So I feel like that's, like, such a summer moment for us. Like, it's, like, the first time, like, this whole family's together on one day, one place.
That's really cool. I like it. All right, so we'll give each other homework here this summer. I'm going to watch more sunrises and sunsets.
And I'll drink a Slurpee.
Get a Slurpee. Is
there a specific flavor?
You mix them all.
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. So, education here, okay? You mix them all appropriately. You start with the base layer of the Coke Slurpee, because that's usually the one that's not broken. That's the other thing, too, is you have to, because every Slurpee machine is usually disgustingly broken, and you have to figure out which ones are going to work. Usually the Coke one is good. I don't know why, but that one's
Because
usually
that's the most popular.
most popular. It's got the most money behind it, let's be honest. Coke
Yeah.
is not going to let their machine break, right? So you get a layer of the Coke because you know that's going to work. Then you start filling in some of the other spots. Maybe they got that cotton candy one, the blueberry. Watermelon is pretty good. One of those will be broken, so you want to make sure you don't do too much of that to water it down. And then, and then you end with Coke again. So you make
Like
a
sandwich.
Exactly, you make a Slurpee sandwich and you move on, and it's a wonderful experience.
Sounds good. All you have to do is just like drive to the beach, watch the sunrise or sunset.
With the Slurpee. Oh, so you're saying that you gave me easier homework?
Yeah, way easier.
And I gave you.
You have like a whole like instruction list.
Well, I think.
I didn't even tell you like a beach. Like you can go to anyone.
I think anything that's worth it in life is worth the work that it takes to get to it. So I think the gratitude level from the Slurpee will be far more amazing because you're gonna have earned it. You know, so that's
waking up early enough to see a sunrise is definitely enough work.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I think I wasn't gonna make it competitive, but you did. But it's fine. I think combining them would be a great thing. I think you be crazy and you get a Slurpee at 5 a.m. because that's incredibly unhealthy.
Start your day off with a good note.
You start it off, or you do sunset and you get a Slurpee then. But either way, all in all, it sounds like it's going to be a great summer.
Yeah, it's a good summer.
Yeah.
See where it takes you.
It's great.
As long as the sun is shining and it's warm enough for me to be outside, I'm good.
Yeah, and we've made it through such an insane year, and just been so much heartache. And for those that are still facing that heartache, there's so much to think about and be thankful for, and also to just be reflecting on, and to kind of have on a serious note here. The energy that you have and that you've brought to this conversation is really refreshing. I think and this is kind of why, this is definitely why I wanted to end it this way here for our semester, because I knew that this would be the great conversation. And so go get a Slurpee, go watch the sunset or sunrise with someone you love this summer, with your family, your friends, and just appreciate moments.
Yeah, I think it's the small things at this point.
Yeah.
I think COVID made it really, potent in our lives.
Yeah.
That it doesn't have to be this grand vacation or this big celebration. Like, those little small moments are, so cherished. Yeah. Like, who knew, drive-by birthdays were going to be, a thing? Or, honking a horn could make someone so happy and enjoy, their day. So I think it's focus on the small things, and the big picture will be painted.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us here for our finale of the spring senior showcase season of Awe and Wonder. This is so cool and so fun to be here. Hope to see you all soon. Hope you have a wonderful summer. And hope you can join us. We got some cool things planned in the fall. Hopefully we'll be taking this show sort of on the road a bit to do these little live versions of it with awesome guests. And we'll see you soon. All right. God bless, and have a great day. Congratulations, seniors.
Yes, congrats to the class of 2021.
Yeah, awesome.